No, I did not. I was
No?
taking care of my daughter. Yeah.
I hear you. Well, we had a pretty crazy episode just now. We went almost 2 hours. I had Joe Perot with me. He said hi.
Yeah.
Chris and Christina came on for a little bit. Billy came on from Upper Deck. We did a few things. Yeah. It was probably the most disorganized I've felt during a Sports Cards Live in quite a long time, but it was fun nonetheless.
Right. What did you get for your grades?
Well, I'll show you, man. I'll show you. So I had, let me see. I'll pull out the PMGs first, and we'll start with those. So the employee exclusives, the Connor McDavid and the Austin Matthews, both came back in PSA 8s.
Nice.
Yeah. And then, hey?
Did you buy those off Billy?
No, I bought those on eBay. I actually, if you look, actually, let me just grab this. I'm going to show you something here.
All right.
I bought them on eBay, and they came in this box.
Yeah.
And they were sitting in there, and there were both the 2015 set and the 2016 set. Yet the box says 2017.
How much you pay for it?
For both sets, I think it was 12 cards altogether. It was like $650.
Oh my God! That's a steal.
It was a steal. But I bought them like, I don't know, maybe 10 months ago.
Yeah, it was still a steal back then.
Yeah. Well, now this card itself is selling for like 4 or 5 times that. So I want to get that slabbed, and then the Matthews just to go with it, because Matthews is just lighting it up this year. He's having a great year. So, and they both came back in 8, so I'm happy with those.
How about your Gretzky?
The Gretzky, I'm very pleased with the 7.
Nice.
Yeah. But wait, there's a surprise coming. There's a surprise, and anybody who's watching right now that watched the last one knows what's coming. So there's the Gretzky in a 7. Also got the blue, also in a 7.
Okay. All right.
And then the Crosby. Here's the surprise.
A 10? No, authentic.
Authentic. I don't know why.
It could be, doesn't meet size requirements, but usually I would say altered.
Yeah, I don't know I have no idea why, but.
You have min grade on there?
Nope.
Huh.
I didn't min grade it. Nope. I don't know what the deal is, but so, some disappointment, but I still love the card. There's only 10 of them, right? And I mentioned on the last episode, like when Nat Turner bought his PMG green Michael Jordan, and he bought it in a PSA authentic, I think it says trimmed. He was like, I needed the card. There's only 10. You want a copy of it, and the light went off for me back then. So where I don't mind, I really don't. There's some disappointment, but at the same time, I'm not moving the card. I wouldn't trade it. I'm still very happy with it.
Good.
The Ovechkin came back in 8.
Nice.
Yep. And then I've been working on the 96 Upper Deck game jerseys, and they have, it's a 13 card set. I've had the 11 of them have been slabbed already. So I got the beret that I bought at the Vancouver show in November of 2019, I think it was. And so I got this grade. It came back in 8, which is great for a 96 game jersey. Nice 2-color piece as well. And then the Gretzky Rookies, I had 3 of them submitted. So the first one I'll show you is a PSA 3. And you can it's got a crease going right down. And I knew that I knew it was gonna grade. I thought it was gonna get a 2, so I was happy with the 3.
Okay.
Then this one I thought was gonna get a 3. It got a 4, so I was happy with that as well.
Okay.
And then the last one. Now this card is trimmed, and I know it's trimmed, but it doesn't say trimmed on it. So makes me think that maybe the PMG green Crosby they figured was trimmed. This one I know it's trimmed. I could just tell by looking at it. When I bought it, I knew it was trimmed, but I still said I want this thing slabbed anyway because it's just better off in a slab. So those were the 10 cards. Comments?
I'm kind of surprised that if you know it's trimmed, that they didn't say altered. So
I know. I don't know what the deal is, why they're not saying that, but hey, it is what it is.
Well, it's up to you when you sell it. You're going to tell people, I think it's trimmed, and then basically, you already said it online, so you can't go back on it. So I think when you sell it, full disclosure, that's all you need.
Yeah, and even on my submission form, I said right on there, make sure you slab it. I think it's trimmed. I didn't even think. I knew it. I could tell. You could just tell. So Okay, man. Well, hey, thanks for joining tonight. I feel like I hang out with you every night on Clubhouse, even sometimes during the day, because you're a regular on there. I've been a regular on there. I've really been enjoying it. I do want to talk about that a bit. Before we get into that, let's go to the comments. Let's see if we have any questions, guys. I do want to say, we don't really have an agenda for after hours tonight.
Right.
I thought I made a banner for you, Carv, just with your. I didn't. Let me create a ticker for you. So, guys, if you want to follow Carvin on Instagram, if you are not yet, I'm going to put this on there right now. So you can give him a follow because he's got a great account. Right there. Forgot the N in Insta. There we go. So here you go. You want to follow Carvin on Instagram. He's at Carvin15. And as I was saying, I don't have an agenda for tonight. There's a few hot topics in the hobby. We've covered a few of them on the earlier show. But put in your questions for Carvin, for myself, and we'll discuss things. It's kind of an open forum tonight. But we got Charles back, Card Canucks. Dennis had a great first show. Can't wait for this one. Thanks, Dennis. Appreciate that. Lapper's back. We got Irving in the house. Always a treat to have Irving in the house with us.
Of course.
Lapper says, is that a mistake on the Crosby? Will they regrade? Great questions. Columbia Hobby, what is up, Carvin? From Steve.
How's it going?
How's it going, Steve? Terry Fortune, I wonder if PSA records a serial number in case it gets resubmitted. Yeah, you got to think they'd start to do that, right? Yeah, I think they might start doing that. Darcy in the house again. Darce, good evening to you. Jeff Wilson from Sports Card Investor. Thank you, Jeff. Great to see you. Great to see you. Stealth Shoe says, hi, guys. Actually, to Jeff Wilson, if you're still there was someone on the last episode that was kind of talking about you. I don't know who he was, but anyway, you've been getting some attention tonight. Chi-Town Hustler says, you guys see the further decline in Jordan rookie prices in Golden. Have not been watching Golden tonight. Have not been watching Golden. Card porn with a shout out to Jeff and Jeff's traditional opening way. Love it. Jeremy Pringle, good evening to you. We got MMA rookies. We got Mickey. Wow. Thanks, Mickey. That's very, very nice to hear. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Sanderson to Aura's back. He's been a regular on Instagram or on Clubhouse lately. Stealth Shoes. Do you guys think getting ticket stubs slabbed are a good investment? It's a good question.
Okay.
I'll go first, Carv, with some quick thoughts, and then you take it. I'm just going to say to that, like, a good investment, I think it needs to be from a very important game. A very important game. If it is, it might be a good investment. I don't think it's different than cards. I don't collect them myself, so I haven't put much thought into it. But, if you have something from LeBron's first game, Tom Brady's first game, that kind of thing, it's pretty cool. I can see the attraction towards it. It's very specific, and I don't know how much crossover there is between cards and tickets, though. I just don't know. Carv, what do you think?
So first off, great investment opportunities from what everyone's saying right now with tickets. For me, it's about me enjoying the game. I look at sports cards as nostalgia. I used to collect them. And although when I went to games, I somehow would save the ticket stubs, I don't keep them in great condition and never valued it because there's never a photo or an image of a player. I know in the last 20 years that's been happening, and we're seeing closing of Yankee Stadium, and they got beautiful photo books and all the legends. So things would change over time, and the Super Bowl tickets definitely have a really, strong eye appeal. But with a lot of the games, I think like LeBron's first game, there's really nothing on there. It's just the teams that play, the date, and then potentially like a Taco Bell like advertisement on there, or maybe a picture of another player that's not even LeBron or something of that nature. So I don't find the attraction there. I know it's a meaningful game and there's some value as it pertains to that event. But if I'm not there, it's like getting autographs. Some people like autographs, like buying autographs on photos and buying it on jerseys. But for me, it's getting autographs is truly when I'm standing in line, meeting the athlete, saying hi, sharing some stories, and then getting the auto, because it provides me a memory, and I can always go back to sharing that experience. With games, if I didn't go to the game, I can't share that experience. Cards, I can. Yeah. I can buy cards on eBay. I can trade with Jeremy, and I can say, look, this is what I gave up. I gave up a right arm and a left arm just to get this card, and and I kind of regret doing that because I can't get those cards again. So you can always have a nice journey to the chase of what we call a white whale card or a grail card. So I think that's important, is having those kind of memories and sharing the experience.
The thing that I took out most from what you just said, Carv, is that most ticket stubs there's just not much to look at. It's really just dot matrix printing on a piece of cardboard, a flimsy piece of cardboard. That's why, to me, it's got to be really important. So yeah. And the other thing, the question was like a good investment. So really, are you, if I think they're a good collectible. I'll put it to you that way. I think they're a good collectible if you have that personal connection to the game, like Carvin said, if you were there. Otherwise, I don't really see them being great investments, but except for a few very important games where the ticket might actually have some nice graphics on it. Let's keep on moving though. Todd McDonald says, how does the virtual expo work? Well, Todd, let me put it to you this way. It's hosted on trade show specific software called Hopin. Hopin recently purchased StreamYard, which is what we are in right here on this show. So I think it's only going to get better from what it was, and it wasn't bad. I've been involved in 2 of them already. So come check it out. It'll be free to attend. I'm going to put it up on the ticker. There it is. It's June 19th and 20th. Check it out. I mean, what do you have to lose? For me, I'm going to be in my booth live streaming for 8 hours straight, 2 days in a row. Hopefully doing some deals, but more importantly and more enjoyably, actually, is just hanging out in my booth with. You can have like up to 10 people with you on the screen and just having a conversation. So come check it out. I think you'll enjoy it. We got Jeff Proctor. Good evening. Ryan O'Hara says Carvin was talking about the best RPAs of all time on stacking slabs the other day, but only included basketball. Are Crosby and Ovechkin second and third behind LeBron? I'll give this one to you, Carvin.
Okay. So this is how transaction. Jeremy, how much you want to pay for this card, which is the Hamilton Lewis 100, and that's the type of thing. He would actually have the photos. I think you have your photos in all your cards in the photo bucket, right, Jeremy?
I have hockey cup RPAs. I have them digitally stored from the first 3 years. Yeah. All the ones I could find. Yeah.
Right. So what happens is that people can go into a photo bucket, look at his cards, and then you can pull the card out and show it to you, and then you guys transact outside of the showroom. But it's like going into an expo, going down the hallway, and then there's Jeremy's booth, and you can just go in and talk to him there. So
you're talking about the virtual expo still?
Yeah, the virtual expo. I'm just trying to explain the process for someone, just in case they don't check it out.
Let me take one more shot at that very quickly. So the way it works is you go to the booth and you're looking in on somebody on camera, just like you're looking at me and Carvin right now. There could be 2 of us, and there's a chat for each booth. At the top of the chat, I'm going to have a pinned post, and that's going to be a link to pictures of all my cards for sale, and the prices will be in there as well, usually in the file name. And then you just either type a message in the chat to talk to me, or come on the screen with your mic and your camera and talk to me directly, and we can do a deal. That's pretty much how it works.
Yeah.
And it's fun. All right, Carv, why don't you take this question from Ryan O'Hara?
So the main reason why I talked more about basketball, I think Brett is more of a basketball fan than he is a hockey, and a lot of it's geared towards, I think his clientele is also, or his viewership is more basketball based. So, but with that being said, I don't think there's a second or third really importance. I think when we talk about RPAs, it's the importance of being what type of RPA. And when I say RPA, this is what I always want to get clear. It's the rookie card patch autograph. So it's for the LeBron, Carmelo, Chris Bosh, it's the 1 out of 99, right? That's the only type that I consider the RPA. The rest of them, they're just autograph patches. So it's a rookie card, or a rookie insert based patch autograph. I heard a terminology today on Clubhouse where someone's calling just a regular autographed jersey as an RPA, and it's like the RPA is being used too loosely, I feel, and that's more for education purposes. Is that for me as a creator of the first ever RPA in hockey and basketball, sometimes I feel like it's like a slap, like a backhanded compliment. That's the nicest RPA. Well, that's not an RPA, So a couple of things to note. LeBron, of course, is the most expensive RPA in the business right now, I think across every sport right now. And the 0304 only has the 1 RPA. That was the exquisite RPA, autographed patch rookie card out of 99. And it has a gold parallel out of 23. Okay. With that said, the Crosby and Ovechkin are really high up there because there's only 4, outside of, I think, National Treasures in 2006, there's only 4 other known game used RPAs. not the limited logos, not any of those inserts. We're just talking about the rookie card autograph patch. So Ovechkin and Crosby, why is that important? Is that you'll see a lot more one color patches. So that gives a huge premium to any 2 colors, 3 colors, and 4 colors. I believe the 3 color Crosby is probably going to hit about $250K now for one card because it's so rare. And then of course the grading on it, usually most of them are Beckett graded, and if the Beckett grading is typically a 9 or 9.5, that'll bring a premium. Most of the cards on average grade about to 8 to 8.5 for the Cup and for Exquisite. Ovechkin also is a game used jersey for the RPA. So once again, a 4 color. Now the Washington Capitals jerseys have way more patch colors in their patches, so thus you'll see more of the 2 colors and 3 colors. But the 4 color is the premium. And you can talk to many Cup collectors, and they'll tell you how many that they've seen the 4 colors. So just that alone gives it a huge, I won't say it's a premium, but it's a premium for the multi-color patches. Like, for example, when you go to more modern day Cup rookies, almost every single card is a dual color or a triple color. So that doesn't give it the same kind of premium bump like it did in 05-06 Cup rookies. So I'll look at it as, those are the debut RPAs. Sorry, my mistake. There was premium patches, right? In premium collection. Premier Collection had RPAs too, I think.
They did. Yeah, they did.
It was Spezza and Rick Nash. So I apologize. For hockey, it wasn't.
And Marc-Andre Fleury in the next year before in 03-04, which is a pretty good one as well.
Yeah. So it was the first ever Cup RPA, I'll say. And for LeBron being the number 1 RPA in our industry today, and also being the first ever basketball one, that was a monument. It's a milestone card. So yeah, I don't consider it to be number 2. I just consider them all to be number 1, guys. I mean, in my heart, I'll always be a Crosby fan before Ovechkin, so I'll rank Crosby ahead of Ovechkin, mainly because I'm Canadian. And number 2, I was there for the Golden Goal, which is, I think, for all Canadians, that is our ultimate GOAT moment as a country. Yeah.
For sure. I mean, I think that when you if you just look at all RPAs over time, there's like, it's almost tough to say what are the top 3. LeBron is certainly the most important, the most expensive, but you've got the Luka, you've got the Zion, you've got the Mahomes, you got the Crosby, the Ovechkin. There's others that are important too. Right. So it's an interesting conversation, but it just kind of makes more sense, I think, to look at it by sport instead of kind of commingling all the sports together. But nothing wrong with commingling them for the sake of discussion. I think it's still an interesting question. Thanks for that one, Ryan. Let's keep on going here.
Sure.
Hockey Guy says tickets from something like Live Aid would be cool. Yeah, I agree with that. Certain like important concerts would definitely be cool. Lucky K says, basically, why aren't people charging sales tax at shows? I mean, the easy answer is they're building it into the prices. I would say that, and they're just doing, they're just deducting it out when they're reporting on their taxes at year end. I would say. A couple of funny comments here. Richard, who's a regular on Clubhouse. Great to see you here. Richard says, if there was a Mount Rushmore of sports, I certainly would not be on a Mount Rushmore of sports. But but Carvin would certainly be on there in terms of a Mount Rushmore of sports cards. And here we go. Chrissy Buckets actually confirms that Carvin is the GOAT of the hobby. And I'm not going to. You're the modern GOAT. Dr. Beckett's the vintage GOAT of the hobby, Carv. That's how
I won't say that. I'll say, if number 1, I'm flattered by the GOAT affiliations and call it GOAT. I'm just a big collector. I'm a collector at heart, and you guys, all the collectors, are all just part of my family and part of my network, and I love you guys all. I'm sure Jeremy will tell you, even if there's an athlete there, I care way more to interact with the collectors than I do with the athlete.
Carv. Yeah. You do, but you're not just a collector when you say that. And the reason why you're not is because you've got the experiences and you're sharing them with your hobby family, as you put it. So you're not just a collector. You've seen the inside of 2 of the biggest trading card companies in the world, being Panini and Upper Deck. I mean, and everybody in the industry, and you work in distribution, and all the collectors, and all the players. So you're not just a collector. You are a collector. You are a true hobbyist, but you're also out there sharing knowledge and you do it in such a great way. So I'm just going to correct you on that a little bit.
Okay.
But thanks for those compliments from Richard and Chris Noel. Let's keep on going here. Let's see what Lapper says. I thought it was interesting. There was almost perfect correlation between high-end Young Gun 10s, rise and fall of vintage basketball market. I assume that's just a macro market correlation. I don't know that I completely understand the question, Lapper. Do you, Carv?
No, I mean, I think they're probably looking at more of the Jordan, how the Jordan has gone down. But really, I don't consider Jordan even vintage. I consider it like kind of modern. Right? Is that what he's saying? And he's saying that the Young Guns are going up. So let's examine Young Guns versus basketball, right? Basketball, by all means, is the main card that people measures as a commodity outside of the autograph cards is the Topps Chrome cards. Well, unfortunately, at that time, chromium was a patented technology that was utilized by Topps exclusively until there was another company that was able to get around the patent, or maybe the patent expired and they had to share it. I don't know all the details on that. But for hockey, if you know hockey collectors, they've been collecting since 1991 and Upper Deck, and Young Guns has been the mainstay. So really, the Young Guns is the commodity card of the hockey card market. That's non-auto. So that's how you can measure like LeBron, Chrome, Young Guns. And in fact, the Young Guns are actually harder to hit than the LeBron Chromes. I don't believe the LeBron Chromes are 1 in 7 boxes, whereas the Young Guns are 1 in 7 boxes of the Upper Deck Series 1 wax. The wax price, believe it or not, is almost identical at the original factory cost. So if that gives you any indication, hopefully that helps out a bit.
You know, and I'm just gonna provide my take on it quickly, because when I see, you know, the perfect correlation, I'm gonna have to just mark that up to coincidence that high-end Young Guns PSA 10s rise. that's hockey modern, and vintage basketball falls, which I don't know that I've seen vintage. I don't know that I've seen vintage basketball fall all that much. I mean, and I do follow the Magic Bird card. I follow the Dr. J, the Wilt Chamberlain. I mean, I think most high-end basketball card, like if we're talking from end of January, first half of February, then yeah, most things have come down. But if you're looking over the scope of a whole year, vintage basketball is doing very well for itself, as are high-end Young Guns. So really depends on I guess the time horizon you're looking at. But let's keep on going. Luke says, hey guys, it's good to see PSA wanting to keep an affordable option under $20. Nat mentioned that recently on a couple podcasts, wants to have an option for collectors of all kinds, which, yeah, we talked about on the last show. I think that makes a lot of sense, and I'm just glad to see that that they want to, you know, keep that market served. And I know that I want them to serve it for my own collection, so I'm happy about that. Carv, any comments on that?
No, I'm fully in support of having that option, because number one, it allows new collectors getting in. Not everyone has $1,000 cards or $5,000 or upwards cards that get graded, and you have to pay $150 to $300. And also it engages like new collectors / kids, teenagers, and also new wannabe entrepreneurs. I mean, that's one thing that with I have a 2.5-year-old daughter. I'm going to let her enjoy the hobby for what it is. She can rip up the cards, crumple them, crease them. I really don't care, right? Whether it's Pokemon or trading cards. But then at a point, I'm going to start teaching her how to be an entrepreneur through trading cards. So hopefully she can gain that, street smart, business smart, and utilize it later on for any type of business, not necessarily just for trading cards. And I think, because of my impact or my affinity for trading cards, and also the fact that I've been in this business for 30 years, I can at least pass down that knowledge to her for how to be an entrepreneur within the trading card community. Because business is business. You gain experience, you gain the know-how, it's going to affect you in any type of business, not just trading cards.
Good point, man. That's what I've said that before too. I love the hobby for youngsters who are out there at shows, online, wheeling and dealing with people that are 3 times their age, and they're holding their own in negotiations. Especially when you're live at card shows, and it's a great way for kids to gain confidence to just be themselves and to kind of take a stance when they're dealing with people older than them. I think that the hobby is a great breeding ground for future business people, entrepreneurs. So yeah, I think it's a great thing. All right, Card Porn says show Carvin this is already 20 minutes old already, but show Carvin the PMG greens, which we have done. Austin Stevens says, do you feel the market has been cooling off lately? I'm just gonna say one thing about this, and we're gonna move on, Carv. But I've noticed prices coming down on lots of cards, but they're still way up from where they were before. The thing though is when they're still trading, they're still changing hands. I saw someone make a comment recently about there's a big sell-off happening. Well, people are buying. If there's a sell-off, there has to be a corresponding buy-off. So, just because some cards have come down in value from where they were between the middle of January and the middle of February, which was a very, was a peak. It's just natural that you're going to see fluctuations. So yeah, sure, they've cooled off lately. Are they going to heat up again? That's the question. Are they going to heat up again? And I can guarantee you that they will. I don't know when, but it's a 100% certainty that they will heat up again at some point in the future. So, but it is what it is. The market's going to fluctuate.
Something I wanted to add to that too, Austin. When we're looking at certain I'll say market index cards, we've seen some cooling off, let's say, and we see some cooling off on some of the cards that have gone quite high. However, you're not looking at the whole basis of the hobby. There's other cards that are just rising up just as quickly, right? Just like the stock market, some cards people take profit and then move the just to another sector of the business or the sector of our hobby or marketplace. Like for one, who would have thought that Lewis Hamilton would be worth as much money as he is in F1? That hasn't cooled off. That's gone up substantially, right? Some of the baseball players, now people are specking on them. Like Ronald Acuna had a fast start. A lot of money poured into Ronald Acuna. There's also alt sports that are doing really well, or alt cards and non-sports. So, while, yes, the Michael Jordan has seen a little bit of a drop off, or what we call a dip, we're seeing some of the basketball cards have a dip, but basketball was at a high point. So some people may be taking some of their profits and putting it elsewhere where they're looking at opportunities. And I think that even addresses the Lapper's point about vintage cards. Some people may be selling off their cards to move it into hockey now because they feel that hockey is, Jeremy, you tell me, seems like hockey is the last sport that hasn't really popped compared to over the last 12 to 18 months. It has, but not to the extent of other sports. So there's a lot of money now coming into hockey. I think Jeremy gets the same type of DMs that I get saying, hey, what do I need to buy? Like, how much is this really worth and all that? And we're like, man, think about it. A Jordan autograph goes for this much. How much is a Gretzky autograph? And if you look at PERs or all this other, wins above a replacement, Gretzky beats almost the next top guy by 700%. That's how, just how far beyond the next replacement player he was. So that's something. Yes, he signed a lot of autographs, but is he really only a $200, $300 autograph? I don't know. You guys tell me. And his autograph is a GOAT autograph. I call him a GOAT autographer. So just like Jordan is a GOAT autograph, Kobe was, LeBron is his GOAT status, and Sidney Crosby is too. There's not many of those in our hobby these days. Those autographs are beautiful.
Yeah, I agree, man. And even Gretzky's auto has gone up in value recently, especially on a nice card. It's his cup autograph patches have really shot through the roof lately, and deservedly so. The more I'm noticing it comes down to eye appeal a lot of the time. There are unattractive cards with autographs on them that are going to sell for a lot lower than a gorgeous card with a nice patch on it as well, that kind of thing, or just a nice card without a patch but has that does have an auto. Jeff Wilson from Sports Card Investor, who follows data, says the hockey market's really heating up, and then Chris Noel says stop telling everybody, because it's like kind of want it to be a secret still, so we can still buy the stuff up. But I can tell you, like Carvin just said, I get PMs every day, and I'm not just saying that. I actually get PMs every day from people saying, should I buy this? What's that worth? What do you think? What's your opinion on this card? And it's like, well, I like it or I don't, but that doesn't mean you like it or don't. I kind of hesitate sometimes to I just say, this is what I think. For me, if I were, I always answer those questions with, if it was me, this is what I would do, because that's all I can do. I do not give investment advice. I do not tell you if something's going to go up in value, because I don't know. But like Jeff says, it's heating up. And I've been noticing that too, because I shop for hockey cards every single day. So, all right, Let's keep on going, though. Let's keep on going. Kevin Jones, another Clubhouse regular. Nice to see you, Carvin. Card collector, what a great thank you very much. Card collector, Toa Hang, another regular on Clubhouse. It's great to see you, Carvin. A wealth of knowledge from this guy. No doubt, no doubt. Little Coops thinks you're a legend, Card, which you are. Another Clubhouse regular just came on. Brandon Metalberg recently jumped on. Enjoy listening to you both on there. Thank you so much, Brandon. Darcy, I love having dim sum with you, buddy.
With the beer in the teapot, right, Darcy? Late at night.
Exactly. Darcy's also recently joined Clubhouse. Austin Stevens says, "Is Panini ever coming back to hockey?" I'll let you answer this one, Carv. You might have the best insight on this.
Well, I mean, I always get asked a question about licenses and all that, and honestly, I don't know what the deals are. I don't know when the renegotiation, when the deal ends. Obviously, I think as just look at everything and you put yourself into the shoes of the leagues and the manufacturers, and then obviously there's a huge amount at stake. So if you put yourself in there and you say, did you look at other options? I'm sure the leagues will exhaust all the other options first and make a decision, right? But also with a company that's already out there that you've done business, have strong relationships with, you might not want to engage someone new because it's an unknown, and I always have that terminology, and I'm sure Jeremy was going to say, when is that going to come up? But I'll bring it up right away. Just be careful what you wish for, because sometimes a shared license might not be better than an exclusive license. And that goes with hockey with Panini, or let's say the NBA with Upper Deck. I mean, everyone always says, oh man, it'd be great for Upper Deck to have the NBA. Trust me, if you guys were in the same position back 17 years ago, 16 years ago, the NBA business would have been really doing well, despite the subprime mortgage issues and all that. Things might be different, but obviously I took a lot of heat on even exquisite boxes and exquisite brands. I mean, there was a lot of anger towards those boxes still. So even then, I mean, I think there's a little bit of nostalgia, and something that's always like, man, when you lost a love, or you broke up with someone, you always remember all the good times, right? Or you could remember all the bad times, but typically for Upper Deck, you remember all the good things, and you don't think of the more controversial issues or struggles you had with customer service or the product itself. So trust me, there was a lot of anger even despite those times when Exquisite was out.
The one thing I'll add to the whole multi-license situation is that if there was ever a time when it might happen, I think it's coming up, and it all depends on when the contracts expire that are currently exclusive, because everybody in sports is aware of what's going on in cards. So right. The leagues must know, and they must be thinking that it might be a time where they could possibly increase their revenues, the team and the leagues and the PA. So, I mean, the story has always been that they just don't want to deal with it. It's just easier from a business perspective, from a resources perspective, a logistical perspective, to just deal with one licensee. Well, maybe it would be worth it to hire more staff and to actually manage more. So if there was ever a time, I could see it being kind of now, but they might have a window of time until the current exclusives end, where who knows where the hobby will be when that happens, and they can reevaluate at that time.
So something of note, if you look at most of the licensing right now, it's almost every league has gone exclusive, whether it's through media, they've kind of gone exclusive. Like hockey has done an exclusive with Rogers. And obviously Rogers probably overpaid at the time for that contract for Canada. You look at the jerseys, Nike has the exclusive for jerseys for all of basketball, and I believe they have it for baseball too, I think. Or football, sorry. Football and basketball, they own the rights. And I don't know who owns baseball. I know it was supposed to be Under Armour, but it's been changed hands a couple of years ago. And in hockey, I believe, correct, it's Adidas now, right, Jeremy? It's all Adidas now for hockey.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
They own the Reebok brand. So it makes things a lot easier when you only have one license, because you don't have to worry about the competition. You don't worry about the marketing. And, if a company is only 20% of the market and they're spending the same amount as a company that's getting 80% of the market, there's always going to be that, discussion. Why am I paying so much in marketing as the other guys, to get up to that level? And then on top of it, as a collector, if Upper Deck is producing 40 brands for hockey, can you imagine 80 brands of hockey cards every year? because you have two licensees, and same thing for basketball. If there's two companies, three companies, can you imagine the basketball market having double or triple the amount of releases? So think about those things. Like I always say, be careful what you wish for. And also on top of it, you think that it's Panini for hockey, and you think it's Upper Deck for basketball. What if it's a new company that just started? And what change whether they go directly to consumer now, or whether they incorporate all trading cards as NFTs and piss off a lot of physical card collectors, right? So I mean, just be careful. Like if you have something good, sometimes I always say this too. There's another thing that probably you can call it a Carvinism, but it's amongst a lot of businesses that if it isn't broken, don't change it.
You know, one thing I'll say to that, because you know, people love to say that exact quote. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Well, I'm a fan of the quote. If it ain't broke, maybe you can make it better. Like what's wrong? You know, what's wrong with trying to improve as well, right? So, but I get it. I get what you're saying still. Okay, let's keep on going. We got a couple of Karvin the architect, Karvin the goat right there. MMA rookie card says if basketball prices are falling, back up the truck and start shoveling the cards into our collections. Take advantage of the pullback. I think that's good advice. Yep. Jeff Wilson says great business advice, Carvin. Now that comment is 13 minutes old, so I don't know exactly what it was to, but thank you, Jeff Wilson. Karn Rye says 2 goats on one screen, 1 goat for sure. Corey Carr says, Jeff, how you doing? Columbia, the prices for supplies are as high as they've ever been. It's not really a supply issue either. Rock Latex, PSA has to keep a low pricing tier to keep their set player registry strong. That's a good point. Very good point. Very good point. MMA says take profits in some of your cards. Buy a condo in Florida. Hello, sports card seller. Great to have you. Joe Perot, who joined me on the last episode. Carvin is like everyone's favorite uncle in the hobby. Wise, playful, and serious all at once. Well said, Joe Perot. Well said.
Thank you.
Dawa Dean back in the house has bought a Kobe Bryant rookie card Skybox Premium SGC 10. Yeah, Hall of Fame coming up. Good luck to you with that purchase. Big unit, I think part of the cool off on modern cards and to a lesser extent vintage has to do with the PSA backlog. Buyers pausing to see how much population is actually out there. Interesting take, and one that I think might be the case for a lot of people for sure. House of Jordans, I'm guessing this is Chris, says Carvin the card father, and I've dubbed him the king of Clubhouse. He is on there quite a bit. Tracy, welcome back. I think she's looking for Joe. Joe is in the chat with you. Tracy, keep it on topic so I don't have to block you. Thank you. Austin Stevens, I think Upper Deck had a lot of quality control issues this past year. Wonder if Panini would be a step up. Fact of the matter is they all use the same third-party printing vendor, so would be really tough to say that. Gizmo, I don't think people care about Upper Deck basketball. I think they want LeBron and Jordan autographs. That's an interesting take for sure. Here we go. Chris at House of Jordan says, hey guys, do you think we get a quick hot list of the top 5 hockey cards going up? So I don't like to speculate on card values, but what I will do is I'll tell you who I would be buying right now. And this is, again, I'm not pumping, I'm not giving investment advice. It's not even a top 5 thing, but the players that I like Austin Matthews. I like Nathan McKinnon. How can you not like Connor McDavid? Mm-hmm. Right? You know, and those are to me are the big 3 right now in hockey. Who am I missing right now, Carv? Ovechkin and Crosby. Like those are the 5 guys that I'm putting my money into right now. Carv, do you have any different take on that?
No, I absolutely agree with you. I mean, the 2 GOATs right now that are probably going to be retiring from hockey in 5 to 6 years is going to be Ovechkin and Crosby. Crosby has the Canadian GOAT moment with the golden goal, which the new modern day, Paul Henderson goal, yet he is a GOAT himself. Paul Henderson was just like a semi-star that played for the Maple Leafs and the Red Wings, and he scored the winning goal in the Summit Series against the Soviet Union bloc in that 72. So that was a great moment for Team Canada. There was also the moment when Mario Lemieux and Wayne Gretzky scored in the 87 Canada Cup. But it was, once again, that was a Canada Cup. This one was the Olympics, the gold medal in overtime. It's equivalent to having a Game 7 walk-off home run that Crosby scored. There's other moments that Crosby had, like the first ever Winter Classic went to a shootout and he scored the winning goal to win the game for for Pittsburgh against Buffalo. Sorry, Sabres fans, another tough loss that was. And I think there's goal moments. Now, Ovechkin, look at it, if he breaks that record, that Gretzky goals record, which everyone felt was unreachable, impossible to hit, that's going to put him in GOAT status. That's that record alone, with not even another cup. And if you watch his highlights, I will say, guys, if you really want to truly understand hockey, watch highlights. You will be amazed at the skill level these players have. Now, Gretzky, Crosby, people have a lot of similarities in that they play the same style. They have the same vision. They play in slow motion. Their eyes view everything in slow motion, right? So that's what they always say about these GOAT players. Yeah. Take Connor McDavid. This guy is the fastest skater in the game right now and still have moves like Gretzky and Crosby. So that's why he has end-to-end rushes going through 4 guys can't even cover the guy, and the guy makes everyone look like idiots, like all-star players. So that to make him a GOAT status. Austin Matthews, although he's not Canadian, he's American. He plays on the mecca of hockey and the most lovable losing team in all of sports right now. Trust me, I just turned 53. I always feel that I'm a curse to the Maple Leafs because they've never won a cup since the day I was born. So they last won their cup in '67, and I was born in '68. So Austin Matthews definitely was a good opportunity to buy. And Nathan McKinnon, when he came in, everyone said Connor McDavid was the next big thing. Nathan McKinnon has been just beyond the expectations. And it doesn't hurt that he also comes from the same town, this little town called Cole Harbour in Nova Scotia, where Sidney Crosby is also part of. So for marketing, Tim Hortons is their spokesperson is Sidney Crosby. He played in the Tim Hortons community leagues or the sponsored teams throughout his childhood. And now with all the hockey cards and all those commercials with hockey players, it's always Nathan McKinnon and Sidney Crosby because they can just go to Nova Scotia and shoot both players at the same time. So just marketing alone, he's going to be marketed that way. He plays in a great city in Colorado and Denver, huge hockey fans there. So I think Jeremy's bang on. There's other few players like, for American born, there's Patrick Kane. Yeah. Highly talented. Just go watch some of his highlights, watch his practice routine, shooting $500 in one practice go around. There's Evgeny Malkin. There's also Carey Price. So there's a lot of players, right? So, but I'm just saying, like, there's other players to also spec on,
Well, there are. There's Pasternak for the Boston Bruins. There's Jack Eichel in Pittsburgh. There's even like Dylan Larkin on the Detroit Red Wings would have some upside if that team would take off. Yeah. There are other great players in the league. The other thing is that Nathan McKinnon is also one of the Tim Hortons spokesmen because he's in those commercials with Sidney Crosby. But when it comes down to it, if I'm buying cards, which I'm doing, I'm buying whatever, rookie cards, PMGs, cool inserts. The 5 players I'm looking at, Crosby, Ovechkin, McKinnon, Matthews, McDavid. That's really that. I mean, there's a few others I'll pick up here and there, but those are the core 5 for me, 100%. And McDavid is clearly the best player in the league. It's not open to debate, the best player in the world. The problem is that his team is not really poised to win at this point in time. And I think you need to win to really solidify your place as an all-time great. And a collectible all-time great. Not an all-time great, but a collectible all-time great. Okay. Yeah. Let's keep going. Thanks for the question, Chris from House of Jordans. Kyle says, where do you see OPG Platinum in the future? Is the Topps Chrome or Panini Prism crossover? Is it the Topps Chrome or Panini Prism crossover for hockey? I firmly believe that it is because it's shiny, it's pretty, and it's got a lot of parallels. A lot of them are numbered. Some of them aren't. I clearly do think it is. Carv, we're just going to keep on going because we're well behind in comments. So we're going to run through some of them here. Corey astutely says Upper Deck made some excellent looking basketball cards. I agree. Tracy still misses Joe. Abraz says, what do you guys think about the 90s insert basketball cards? I absolutely love them. Abraz, I collect them and I love them and I love them and I love them. Colin says the card shops would go nuts if they had to buy 100 additional products and no shelf space for it. Well, if they were putting it on the floor and selling it, I think they'd be okay with it though. But I hear you, Colin. It's as long as it's selling, they'll find a place to put it, or they'll bust out a wall sort of thing. Dawa Dean says, thoughts on Luka Doncic base PSA 10? Will it rebound again? All base seem to be down. I think that has a lot to do with the populations right now and people's their apprehension towards what's about to come out of PSA's backlog and Beckett's backlog. So, but if he plays well, the card will go up in value. If he keeps on win, if he wins, if he keeps on playing well, being among the top kind of 3 players in the league, I can see it. Ryan O'Hara's top 5. Now, these aren't all current because Lemieux isn't current. Neither is Jagger, but he's got McKinnon, Matthews, and Ovechkin in there, which makes sense to me. Any low-hanging fruit for Crosby or Ovechkin that you guys like? I mean, low-hanging fruit. No, none that I can think of, Braz. None I can think of. Fire Sports Cards. What is your guest's thoughts on all these Panini non-game use patches on most of their products, including these RPAs with crazy prices? Seems unacceptable to me. Carv, I'm going to let you take it. Try and keep it to a couple minutes if you can.
Okay, so let's talk about RPAs. Most RPAs are not game used. They're always photo shoot or event worn or player worn jerseys. Look there's so many rookie cards that have patches, and the reason why there's not as many game used jerseys is that it's just availability. I mean, you think of a rookie, how many minutes does he play in a game? I mean, some of these rookies play like maybe 2 minutes. Football rookies don't even get to see the field for the whole entire year half the times, like the quarterbacks. So how are you going to acquire these game used jerseys? Also of note, there's also the teams also have a need for keeping the jerseys. When a team is on a streak, they don't give up their jerseys. They're superstitious. These jerseys, we're winning in these jerseys. We're not going to give it up to sell it to a card company. And also these teams also sell it on their own sites. They sell it through third-party sellers. They sell it through the auctions. So of note, like the Green Bay Packers, New England Patriots, they only wear 1 jersey per year. Now they have 3 types of jerseys. They wear only 1 of each jersey. That's why when a Tom Brady jersey ever came up at NFL auction, it goes for $40,000 to $50,000. Now let's take that. If you have a rookie that plays and that jersey costs you $20,000, an average jersey patch yields only about 80 patches on a 1x1. On an NT, you're only going to get about 25 patches. So equivalent for just $199 NT RPA, whether it's basketball or football or even hockey. Hockey is a little bit stronger yield. You have to buy 4 game used jerseys for the bigger size NT RPAs. Multiply that by 8 to 10,000. That's 40,000 for 1 rookie. You got 42 rookies. You can do the math. And by all means, when we build products, we have to get a profit. We can't build it with a big loss, saying that we purchased all these jerseys to use the patches. So when you think of a rookie card, what I always tell people is that look at the rookie card as an aesthetics. It's basically, you have all these rookie cards in front of me. One rookie card is differentiated by ink. One could be by chromium. One could be sepia tone paper versus regular white, premium paper. One also has the jersey piece, and one has an autographed jersey or autographed patch. Those are just enhancement. It's helped differentiate the different rookie cards that you want to collect. And obviously, by the decision of the hobby, they treat for basketball and football NT RPAs as the card of choice that they want to go after in terms of true rookie cards. For hockey, it's the Cup RPAs, that's what they call, the Grail rookie cards. So same thing. In baseball, it's a little bit different. So we won't go into baseball. But those sports, that's what they chase, is that they chase the rookie card patch autograph. Unfortunately, it is impossible to build a product to get it under the price point. I mean, the price point would be like thousands and thousands for a cup box. You're probably paying $5,000 to have all game used jersey patches in that product. So, you're going to be paying for it if you want game used material.
And then I think another issue is that it's tough to get that game used material early enough to even get the product out in time. So
it's true.
They got to get the product out there, and the hobby does not like to wait for products. So it's,
or sticker autographs.
Yeah. So it's one of those sort of necessary evils, if you will. Okay. Thanks for the explanation, Carvin. I think that was great. Ryan says that the NHL should hire Carvin to market the league to other sports fans. It might not be a bad idea, Carv. Hopefully your boss isn't watching right now. Henry says, I just went to the show today. LeBron stuff is dead. That is not good for basketball. I will focus on baseball more now. Henry, all I'll say to that is, you're gonna have to be quite nimble if you're literally operating based on the last few days of how the hobby is doing. So all the power to you to be able to stay on top of things that quickly. But LeBron stuff, I can pretty much guarantee you isn't dead, because I see the stuff still moving on other at places other than the card show you were at today. But thank you for the observation. I'm curious to know what card show you were at too, if you wouldn't mind putting that in the comments. Daniel says that Jack Hughes with the New Jersey Devils is a special player with not much help. Keep an eye on him, and I do agree with that. I don't think he's in the caliber of the other five, my main circle of five, but definitely a player worth watching. Toa says, if Carvin had a chance to get back in and help produce one product line, what would it be and what sport? Carv, can you answer that one?
I think, so on my mantle, I build hockey products. I built basketball products. I never built a baseball product. And I also built some football products. So those three, and I built golf. I'm just trying to think of my time at Upper Deck and Panini. So the sports I've never worked on, like UFC, I never worked on. Soccer, never worked on. F1, of course, now that's newer racing. NASCAR, I never worked on. So I still have a lot of opportunities to work on sport that I'd never worked on. So baseball would definitely be one. I wouldn't talk about product lines, but I'm sure I can think of one once I'm in that mindset and brainstorming the ideas. So something would come to mind. And also, I also love the Allen and Ginter type products, like the ones that involve celebrities and movie stars and card creators and employees too. So I like those sets too as well. So I don't really have a affinity for one set or one sport necessarily, but the sports I never worked on would probably be the ones that, it allows me to get out of my comfort zone and challenge my mind again to be creative.
So you just mentioned employee cards. So what were you really talking about there, Carv? What were you really talking about?
Yeah.
Something like that, eh?
My Allen and Ginter card, yeah.
There's Carvin's Allen and Ginter card, everybody, that he gave to me a long time ago with an old nickname of mine. All right. Let's go back to the comments. We got some good stuff coming through here. So I want to read this one. I don't want to get into it because you've talked about it quite a bit, Carvin, but 23 Ernest says that just like when people throw around the term RPA too loosely annoys you, it is somewhat annoying when people pluralize GOATs, only one greatest ever in each sport. Doesn't make sense otherwise. So I'm going to take this one, Carv, because I agree with, GOAT implies one, but I've started to actually, think to myself, you can actually pluralize it. And I know that's not consistent with what you're saying, 23 Ernest, and from a technical perspective, you're 100% correct. However, there's no fun in isolating it to one person, and I think there's a GOAT by era or by decade sort of thing and a GOAT by sport. So you almost have to pluralize it. And I'm okay to say that GOATs travel in herds. So there's more than one GOAT in a herd. So I'm okay with it. But anyway, let's just keep going. But definitely hear what you're saying. And I've had that exact same thought before. Okay, Currency Project. So here's a good comment. He says, I would throw Joe Thornton's Black Diamond rookie into that top 5 list. Now, that wasn't a top 5 list of rookie cards to the Currency Project. That was a top 5 list of players that I'm collecting, that I'm buying cards of. But with that said, he is very correct that Joe Thornton's Black Diamond rookie card from 96, 97, I believe it is probably the most important hockey rookie card from the 90s. And it's tough. And there's a gold version of it, which I think is thought to be at a 50 that is coming up. I just saw it hit eBay yesterday. I don't know when it ends, but there's one on eBay, and that is a very rare card, and it's going to go for a lot of money. So I'll be watching it out of curiosity, but I do have the silver card in my collection, which is very nice at all. JOM wants some hairstyle advice. Yeah, shave it off, man. Then you don't need hairstyle advice. Best advice I can give you. It works well for me. Abraz, any low-hanging fruit for Kane and McKinnon cards that you guys like? Not really. I mean, you gotta just go for the cards that you like. If you like them and you think they're cheap, that will be low-hanging fruit to you. I might like bananas or oranges. You might like apples and pears. So whatever you think is low-hanging, go for it. Victor, good buddy, says the term easier comes off lazy to me. I say, let's put the golf clubs down and let's get to work. I wish I remembered what that was in context of, but thank you, Victor. Okay, a couple comments on ESPN getting some NHL. Is that going to help things moving forward? I think it will. Carv, do you think that that's going to help the hockey end of the hobby?
Of course. I mean, think about it this way. ESPN can now have full replays with commentators now, just even on the ESPN.com, on all their videos that they are outputting now, whether it's on Instagram. That helps just snippets, right? Because right now, when you see a gorgeous goal, it always has to be like to music, which is kind of distracting when you don't have the, when you talk about players, we always talk about the soccer players that yells out goal, right? And of course, one of the famous goal of all time in terms of a broadcaster is Rick Jenerick's Mayday goal in the overtime in the playoffs, right? He's famous for that thing. And those are the things that the announcer helps accentuate the moment, helps give it that oomph. And I think that's important. When you're watching ESPN with a guy like Austin Matthews goal or Connor McDavid, it's always to music. And it's kind of like, it's not fun to watch at all. But that alone, and plus now they're starting on ESPN Plus. I think Adam Lefko had mentioned that it's only going to Plus. But if it does well on Plus, that has that opportunity to go into ESPN, the main channel. So that's important. At least you have that opportunity.
Yeah. Okay, good stuff. Lapper, I apologize, but I assume you buy Sid, Nate, that's Nathan McKinnon, Ovechkin to hold longer term. Do you think the non-GOATs are worth holding for any length of time, 10 years plus? So I think some of them are, Lapper. Like the guys that did, is Stevie Yzerman a GOAT? Well, probably not, because there were so many players in his era that were better than him, like Wayne Gretzky and Mario Lemieux. But I still think Steve Yzerman is worth holding for a long time, 10 years plus. Yes. I think then, to answer that question, you have to look at Hall of Famers and you have to divide them up between the GOATs, who are, there's 5 or 6 of them because they travel in herds. And then you've got like that second tier, and then you've got, more tiers within them. And a good place to look at that, where I've gone to kind of understand, especially in the old, for like really like pre-war, is the PSA population report, the Hall of Fame set registry, and the weightings assigned to the cards. Now, sometimes those weightings are assigned to cards because the cards are just really tough. But sometimes, and most of the time, I believe they're assigned because of the importance of the player. So that's what I've used to gauge player importance. And as a reference, for when I'm not sure. So I do think there is merit to holding non-GOATs for a long time, but not a lot of them. Like not a lot of them. You want these kind of, if the GOATs are A pluses and everyone else is an A or a B plus or a B, I'm okay with Bs, B pluses, and As. I don't want anything with a C or a B minus. But within those players, you want to find the ones that are really heavily collected for whatever reason. And that's how I would answer that question. Carv, anything to add to that?
I'll say when it's non-GOATs, it all depends on where your entry point is. Because for example, like this year, Tim Duncan is rising up, James Harden is rising up. So if you're going to see a rise up on the card, I can't sit there and say, well, I'm going to hold it for 10 years now. If you're going to go 3X on a non-GOAT, we don't know where those players are going to be 3 years from now. So I would just say, hey, maybe it's time to move off those cards. But if it's not a GOAT, I'm probably not going to be investing collecting those players unless it's a player of my team or that little space of that lane that I have for collecting. So if it's not collecting, then I'm obviously investing on it. So at that point, you got to be concerned about when do you get off. Like if you're a cryptocurrency collector, do you hold for 10 years if Bitcoin goes 10x, or do you just get off and you take profit on it, right? And then you can move on to buying something else for that same purpose. And by the way, I'm not a huge fan of the GOAT analogy or the GOAT acronym, just for everyone. I know it says greatest of all time, but it's like when people say hustle. I don't like hustle, because hustle is mean like if you go, oh, I'm hustling, or I'm a side hustle. It seems like hustle is kind of a terminology that's used for conning people and all that. So I don't like that term. And GOATs, I always think of the GOAT curse of the Cubs. They brought a GOAT to the team, and they never won a championship for 100 and plus years, right? So it seems like GOAT status, it doesn't. I don't know. I can't dress up Michael Jordan with horns and the beard, right?
But it does serve its purpose in discussion. I hear you on hustle. Hustle has some negative connotations to it. Hustlers were, the term I don't like in the hobby, just to talk about terms, is I never liked the term mojo back in the day when people would be doing group breaks and talk about mojo. I do not like that term at all. It just gives me
or my big term I hated was whales. Stores would call their big customers coming to the stores and they go, "Oh man, how many whales do you have?" I'm like, guys, you shouldn't call your customer a whale. Just bad terminology. You call them VIPs, you call them preferred customers, diamond customers, or top of the tier. You don't call them whales. That's just my way of with the terminology that I hear all the time.
I'm with you. Sports card seller reminds everyone to hit that like button. Thank you for that, sports card seller. Greatly appreciate that. Please, guys, if you're enjoying this, hit the like button. If you're not enjoying this, hit the like button. Okay, Abraz, I'm gonna just say one thing, Abraz. This is not a my content is not about how things will do long term. It's just not the approach. I just don't give investment advice on here. It's not in my wheelhouse. So I think you're talking Garnett and Duncan, two Hall of Famers. I believe isn't Garnett about to be or already is a Hall of Famer. So probably will do very well long term. But we'll just leave that at that. Chi-Town Hustler, LeBron had huge results in the golden auction tonight. So that's a little bit contradictory to what we heard earlier on in the show, or at least about that one card show that one viewer was at today. I think Henry. And Lucky says perhaps a good buying opportunity. LeBron RPA did 1.4 million. That's pretty crazy. That's some good money. It's not actually that crazy, relatively speaking, but that's good. That's good money. Doesn't make me think LeBron cards are dead at all. Sharpshooter says, considering the amount of money people are paying towards boxes, do you guys think the card companies will ever do away with sticker autos? It makes the card look low end. I mean, we're not going to get into why there are, but it's like either sticker autos or no autos is basically the short answer for that. So, there are going to be hard signed autos still, but if you want those additional autos, they have to be stickers. There's just really no way around it. And, tune into Clubhouse, you hear Carvin talk about that a lot. Carv, literally 30 seconds, anything to add just to sum up the question?
Everyone wants the best of everything, best of all worlds. They want cards of PSA 10 or BGS 10s. They want hard sign autos, and they want cards in uniform. Guys, what I would recommend is put yourself in the shoe of a card manufacturer. Look at when is the first photos of the rookies potentially playing. Remember, once you produce, it takes about 2 months to produce the cards onto actual cards, and then the athletes get 2 to 3 months to sign them. Basically, you're not going to have autographed cards until about February, if everything's hard signed these days. And on top of it, teams do not allow their players to skip out on practice, to go pregame and sign autographs. I mean, it is the amount of effort, and a lot of times those cards are in the players' hands. They get damaged because they don't realize how much the quantity is. Even some of the players now knowing how much those cards or those PSA 10s are worth, they may say, man, I don't care if someone gets a PSA 10 or not. They may think that way. Hopefully they don't. They think, I want everyone to get a PSA 10 for those cards. But it travels all around the world. It gets knocked around. Sticker autos helps condition the cards. And what I will say is that the original reason why sticker autos were used was people were complaining about redemptions and complaining about conditional cards. So once again, I'm going to bring up my favorite Carvinism is be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, fair. All right, we're going to run through. Colin Murray's giving us some information on the golden auction tonight. The PSA 9 Gretzky did 202,000, which I think that's pre-buyer's premium, because I saw that earlier tonight. And I do know that Collectible had a PSA 9 O-Pee-Chee Gretzky where they received an offer of $225,000, and the unit holders they rejected that offer. So, which I love to see when offers get rejected by the unit holders. PSA 10 Jordan did 350. Fleer Wax Box did 190, and the LeBron did 1.4. Thank you, Colin, for that update. MMA rookie cards wants Carvin to go work on UFC cards. They need more creativity. Tracy loves my hair. She must be referring to my eyebrows. I've always got good compliments on my eyebrows, so thank you so much, Tracy. Dawadeen, question for the guest: thoughts on Kobe card market? Top space RC PSA 10 was 10.5. We're just sorry, Dabo. We're just gonna skip by that one in the interest of time. But thanks for putting the question out there. Daniel Busby, just getting free to watch the show. Sorry, I don't know what topic we're on. Carvin, Do you ever see Upper Decker Tops getting the NFL or NBA? Yeah, we already did cover that, Daniel. So I'll just ask you to rewind or watch that one later. Steve Sir, who is the GOAT goalie? This is a tough question. I know who I think is the best goalie of all time from who I've seen play, and that's Dominik Hasek. To me, he's the best goalie of all time. Now, I never saw George Vezina play. I never saw Jacques Plante play. I never saw Glenn Hall play. I never saw Jerry Cheevers play. But, times were different back then. To me, it's Dominik Hasek, Patrick Waugh, Marty Brodeur. They're in the discussion for certain. And after that, there's really nobody else that comes to mind. But let's hear what Carvin thinks.
Career-wise, numbers-wise, I think Patrick Waugh would be your number one goalie if you're basing it on numbers. In terms of performance, I agree to a point where what Jeremy's saying about Hasek is just that some of the saves were unbelievable. But I would actually pick the goalie that I watched play. Used to play for a team called CCCP, and his name is Vladislav Tretiak. He was phenomenal. There's one game that was on Boxing Day where he faced the powerhouse Montreal Canadiens, and it was a 2-2 tie, and I think they shot 70 shots against them. So just watch some of his saves. I mean, Tretiak is a phenomenal goalie. Never had a chance to play in the NHL, though.
We have a couple votes for Patty Roy, Patrick Waugh, who is definitely, and career stats wise, I mean, how do you really argue against Marty Brodeur? He's got cups, the all-time wins leader, which will likely never be caught. Like, it's tough. Hockey guy says Hasek. I mean, Hasek, when I say go, I thought he was the best goalie, but when you bring into the conversation stats, then you're down to Brodeur and Patrick Waugh.
Yeah.
Really. Yeah. Okay. Hasek is the GOAT, but Waugh is more popular, says Chris. Card collector, do you guys think Stevie Y can bring another Stanley Cup to Hockey Town? He's got his work cut out for him. Let's just go with that. Lapper says Patty Waugh, 100%. Sharpshooter says, I bet Jeremy says Jacques Plante. I will tell you, the GOAT of all goalie cards is the Jacques Plante rookie card to me. I mean, of course, the George Vezina is known as a bit of a grail in hockey cards, but to me, from an eye appeal perspective, the Jacques Plante is just one of the coolest cards going. I love it. Worst term phrase is come hard. I cannot dispute that at all. Not at all. Irving, anything aside from sports cards people should be looking at? Pokemon, Fortnite, Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh. Carv, I'll leave that one to you.
It's tough to say. I mean, I'm more of a sports card guy to begin with. I mean, I think some of the Magic cards, I mean, they're already getting really high values. Pokemon's already at an all-time high in terms of people collecting it again. Fortnite is just, I don't play Fortnite, and I know that some of those cards are going for crazy dollars from the Series 1 and Series 2. I have no way of determining Fortnite. And Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a step below, it seems like, from the other ones. I don't know why. So I can't really comment on that. There are other cards, like I still like the Spectral Tiger from World of Warcraft card. That's probably the nicest in terms of gameplay, the nicest mount that you can have. I know when I used to play, I used to get all kinds of private messages in World of Warcraft saying, dude, how'd you get that one? And it was also advertised on World of Warcraft commercials with Mr. T riding the Spectral Tiger. So that was in an Upper Deck product. There's a scratch off and you get the number and you get a free tiger that's like, kind of transparent tiger as a mount. I still think that card may be underpriced.
All the non-sport talk is on the guys that Irving put up there right now. And, I like some non-sport, but it's none of those. It's none of those. It's more historical figures, Hollywood, music, important historical figures like Walt Disney is a great example. He's got some cool cards out there. Albert Einstein has some cool cards out there. Presidential, certain presidents, explorers. That's the stuff where my interest is headed, because I'm finding that a lot of, we're priced out of so much right now. There's still some really cool topics out there to collect on cardboard. I love sports cards, but I love my cardboard. So sometimes the subject, as long as it's an important subject matter, if it's the GOAT of explorers, I might want to add them to my collection. Okay, let's keep on going. Yeah. Daniel says, I'd rather have sticker autos than redemptions. Yeah, I agree with that. Okay, hockey guy, I got you on that comment. So far, Tracy's behaving tonight. So on this show, so Tracy, if you keep behaving, we'll let you stay. Thank you very much. Gizmo, a vote for Ken Dryden, which I think, fair, but I don't know. Just didn't play that long. Darcy says Brodeur and Waugh. Yeah, hard to
Nobody said Sawchuk. Nobody said Sawchuk.
No one said Sawchuk. That's true. Yeah. Chrissy Buckets is the best goalie, says Chrissy Buckets. Hockey guy, go look at 90s Vezinas. When Brodeur, Hasek, and Waugh were all in the league, the answer is Hasek, but Waugh is more collectible. Dawa Dean, ask your guest, Lakers, Nets, Philly, Nuggets, who wins this year's championship? Carv, who wins the NBA championship this year?
I don't know. It's wide open right now. Nuggets, after losing Jamal Murray, I think it's going to hurt them. I mean, he had that great run last year. Philly, if everyone's healthy, it's a possibility. I'm not sold on the Nets. Offensive coach, offensive assistant coach. Everyone's really high on them, and right now they haven't even played like a handful of games together. I don't know if chemistry is going to count, and defense is going to matter in the playoffs. And just sometimes I look at it, and some of these players, I'm not sure if Kyrie Irving couldn't get along with LeBron James. I'm not so sure how easy he'll be to get along with James Harden and Durant. They haven't played too much together yet, so we will see with the Nets. Lakers, I'm worried about their injuries and their depth on that team. So I mean, it could be someone else from the West. Like the Nuggets was the one team that I was thinking about, but I don't know. Utah keeps on doing it every single day. It's like it's kind of surprising. And once I think Donovan Mitchell's he's still out right now. So if he gets back, that'll make a difference. And the team in the East that I would be really worried about is the Heat again. Great coaching, great defensive team. And if Duncan Robinson and Tyler Hero start shooting up, they can go back to the finals again.
Yeah. It's just nice that it seems to be wide open and that every team kind of might have a shot, or not every team, but the few that there's not just one or two favorites this year. Tracy, if from what I remember, if you were a troll on the last show, I would have blocked you and you wouldn't be able to comment now. So we're going to take you out of troll, well, not that I ever had you in troll status, but we're going to take you off of that for sure. Darcy, I like this comment. Darcy says Brodeur I believe has the most wins and the most losses, which would be a knock against you. Well, it comes down to longevity too. But anyway, Card Collector always thought Marty's the goalie GOAT. Card Canuck says if Lindbergh stayed healthy, who knows? I think what he means to say is if Lindbergh stayed alive, who knows? Yes. Unfortunate. That was a very untimely and unfortunate death of a player who could have been an absolute superstar. Are any fractional share companies allowing Canadian members yet? Not that I know of. I do not think so, and I really hope that they do soon because I will definitely play a little bit in that. Colin Murray lets us know that Tretiak was drafted by the Habs. Yeah. Very good, very good. I think we're talking about X-Files is very hot up there. Before Hockey Guy, Beanie Baby's going to make a comeback yet? I don't know. This is about who cares? Let's leave it at that. Who cares? What do you guys think? Tracy says, what do you guys think about Mano Rayom? Well, Mano Rayom was the only female to ever play in a professional hockey game. It wasn't an actual like league. It was an exhibition game. It wasn't a game in the regular season. I thought it was very gimmicky back in the day when she did play. I thought the Tampa Bay Lightning were new in the league, and that was a great gimmick to bring some attention to them. Not that she wasn't qualified to play, but I thought that it was just still gimmicky, and she was never going to really become a full-time NHLer. But otherwise, a great ambassador for women's hockey, was for a very long time, and I have nothing bad to say about Mano Rayom. Carv, what do you remember about her?
No, same thing. I mean, we all remember her. I mean, her classics card, obviously the autograph card, and she had a bunch of other cards of her as a goalie. I still remember that autographs in silver, and it's numbered out of 7,000 or something like that. It was crazy numbering, hand number, I believe, too. She was the only female player to ever play in an actual professional one of the four leagues. So we all know about I believe the kicker that kicked recently in the NCAA. She was a kicker recently, so she made headlines, and we're hearing all about all the refs that are, head coaches that are all, women head coaches in the NBA, like Becky Hammon is one of them. There's also coaches in the NFL and the referees, which is great. But if you want to think about a pioneer, she was the pioneer of that era. I mean, back in the late 90s, or mid to late 90s, I think, right? Or early 90s.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
She goes on to say it was great to see her play against the men, for sure. I mean, it was cool, but I still think it was a little bit of a gimmick, but that's okay. They needed to do some marketing, and that was fine. And again, she was qualified. She was like the top female goaltender, so nothing wrong with that.
If it's outside the four sports, Annika Storrs, the match she played in the PGA tournament. So, and she was, if you talk about women's golf, she is a GOAT. So
yeah, lots of great women, collectible cards. You got lots of tennis players as well. So I just want to say to Chris, I think you owe Tracy an apology. Hockey guy Chris says outlaw cards, Billy the Kid. Yeah, I have a Billy the Kid card, which I really like. 52 Tops has a neat history set. Yeah, it's called the Look and See, which is where the Billy the Kid card is out of. I have 2 cards from that set. I'll actually show them to you guys just for fun. I have 2 cards from the Look and See. I have here. Let me find them here very quickly. They should be back to back in my folder here. Here they are. So the first one is, let me just take down the banner for a second. The first one is this guy right here, Billy the Kid, which is, I just love this card. I just think it looks super cool. And the second card I have from the 52 Look and See, these are Topps cards, which I think is super cool, is the Queen Elizabeth in a PSA 8 as well. I just think these are really cool cards. So I do have 2 cards from that set. So good comment from you, Tim Brown. That is definitely the card you were talking about. Christy Bucket says David Duchovny's undervalued. So yeah, the X-Files has some cards for sure. You guys were talking about them up above. Big Unit, do you think Taylor Hall's trade to Boston will help resurrect his cards and career? Maybe. That's all I can say is maybe on that. Ken Dryden, where does he rank? I don't even rank Ken Dryden that much. I mean, he just didn't play long enough. I mean, if you're a Montreal Canadiens fan, you rank him up there with Patrick Roy. If you're not, he's just kind of like, I don't know. I don't want to take anything away from him, but he kind of ruined it for me in his after hockey career too. Just kind of a, he won't sign autographs. He's just kind of a stick in the mud.
Yeah, he definitely does not sign autographs, and that's one of the aspects of this hobby that I guess everyone wants to see his autographs. But he'll sign for his books that he's written. He'll sign for everything else, and if you're gonna get it personalized, he'll sign for you. So that's the way to get his signature. He doesn't want any financial gains from the signature. That's the way he treats it.
Yeah, get it on. Yeah, exactly. Get it on his book. And he'll sign. I wouldn't be surprised if now he'll sign books big enough so that you can't cut them out and put them into cut autograph type of cards.
I think didn't Leaf do a cut autograph of Ken Dryden in the past?
Yeah, something. And so did Andre Lassard. He makes custom cards out of cuts, and he did one recently. Actually, he just showed it on Instagram. I can't remember the name of his Instagram account, but he just showed one as well.
Right.
Okay, Jose Ruiloba, in your opinion, is the mid-90s to early 2000 Red Wings versus Avalanche the best rivalry of all time? I mean, that hit Claude Lemieux put on Chris Draper, basically destroying his face, sparked off a crazy rivalry. Best of all time. I think the Habs and the Leafs might be the best of all time, but it's been going on so long. The Battle of Alberta is a pretty good one, but that one, in its time, was the best one at the time, I think, for sure.
Yeah, for that time period, for sure. I mean, even when you think about it, I always bring up, Ovechkin and Crosby. They play in the same division, right? Washington against Pittsburgh. 2 number 1 picks going against each other. And for our hobby knowledge, they were both in the same rookie year, too, these 2 rookies, right? So to me, that's the greatest rivalry because they're the 2 modern-day GOATs that everyone compares. And on top of it, if you think about that one game in the playoff where Ovechkin had a hat trick and Crosby had a hat trick. Like, what other game have you had 2 GOATs have a hat trick against each other in the playoffs?
Yeah.
So that just, to top it off. And the greatness of the rivalry doesn't even go to just the playing. It goes to the off the ice. Like, Ovechkin is completely different than Crosby. One is very quiet, very sheltered. The other one's a party animal. Just the complete opposites. And that's so fun to talk.
And I hear you. That's probably the greatest player versus player rivalry, that's been going on in the last 15 years. As far as I don't see a huge rivalry between the 2 teams, though. But I do appreciate you bringing that up because I definitely agree. Daniel says Fuhrer was so entertaining. Grant Fuhrer, yes, he was. There's a vote for Tretiak, who Carvin mentioned earlier, the Russian that never played in the NHL. Card Collector says it's definitely great that there are more than 2 teams that seem to have a shot at winning this year. I agree. Lapper says can't compare Waugh to Brodeur for W's when Brodeur had more overtime wins. Yeah, very technical, but probably makes sense. Dawadin, is it true PSA is going to make a grade higher than 10s? No, it's not true. It may happen, but it's not true. It has not been confirmed. Nobody knows. Ken Golden did speculate that on my show a few weeks ago, but it's not for certain yet. But it's a fun thing to speculate about. Fire sports cards. Do you think the National is going to happen this year? I do. I just don't think it's going to happen at the scheduled time. Ryan O'Hara says there's a cool Minoreum Cup auto card. Yes, actually Upper Deck just included Minoreum in the Cup in the last year or two with an autographed card. Very true. Facebook user confirms the golden prices did not include the 20% buyer's premium, so that Gretzky at 202 ends up doing 242.
Yeah, 242.
Something like that. Yeah, and the LeBron at 1.4 actually does 1.6 or so. So pretty crazy. Lapper, Michelle Wee for golf as well. Played against men. Very cool. Annika as well. Jeff Wilson says very cool card. What card was that? What card did you? Oh, maybe the Carvin card I showed.
Oh, maybe.
Or maybe my 52 look and sees could have been the look and sees. Thank you, Jeff. Colin Murray, Minot was undefeated 5-0-1 in the East Coast League. That's a men's league. Sharpshooter, that brings up a question. Who would you say is the women's GOAT in the sports world? Carv. Ooh. Overall.
It's a tough one, but I have to go with Serena Williams.
Yeah.
Serena Williams, it's just, she's dominating. And one thing of note I want to bring up, and I've seen it in certain like clubhouse rooms and all that. I noticed that, there's always discussion about women in sports, and people bring up like pictures of Michelle Wee, or let's say pictures of Christy Brinkley. Like, guys, we're talking about sports and women in sports. Let's bring up pictures of Serena Williams, Annika Sorenstam, like the GOATs. You can bring up pictures of, like, for example, like Cheryl Miller, who's a broadcaster, but she is a GOAT in terms of women's basketball. She was way before her time. She played in the '84 Olympics, and she's Reggie Miller's sister, and she schooled Reggie Miller every time they played against each other. So think about that. There's a Hall of Famer that was schooled by her sister. Yeah. Read up on the story where Reggie Miller came back from high school game, and he saw his sister, and he was so excited. He's like, "Oh man, sis, I finally had the game. I finally broke through." Kind of trying to brag against Cheryl Miller, and he goes, "I finally scored 40 points in a high school game." And Cheryl goes, "Oh, that's great, man. Congratulations." She walks in. She goes, "Well, wait a second. You're not even gonna talk about it?" She goes, "How did you do in your game?" She goes, "Oh, I just had an okay game." She goes, "Well, how many points you scored?" 105. She scored 105 points in a high school game. Yeah,
that's a lot of points.
Yeah,
I'm with you though. Serena Williams. I think I can't think of anyone else. Colin Murray says Ken Dryden, 10 years, Calder Trophy, 6 Vezinas, 6 cups. Pretty good. Yeah, I cannot argue with that. Terry agrees. I don't know why I have this bias against Ken Dryden, but I do, and it's probably unfounded. I'll admit it. It's probably unfounded, but I never.
Also, that team was.
I was thinking that,
right? And that defense core with Guy Lapointe and Serge Savard. I remember watching one game.
Larry Robinson, yep. And all the players were all defensive, like Bob Gainey, Mondu, Eiswell. All these guys were all defensive players. So I remember watching one game where the rebound came out and the puck was just sitting like in front of Ken Dryden for like 30 seconds almost. It felt like forever. And then finally Ken Dryden just, skate up to the puck and cover it up or passed it out, because no one was even getting close to the puck, because the defense was just basically had all the forwards and controlling all the forwards. So, but, that's just, and Ken Dryden is a stand-up goalie. He was the first ever stand-up goalie. So he wasn't really exciting to watch, like a Hasek, or one of my favorite for Maple Leaf was Mike Palmintero, who was flopping everywhere, right? So, yeah. Okay, let's keep on going here. Carv, you good for time?
Yeah, let's go. Let's keep on doing it.
Good. Okay, Sharpshooter says Montreal, Quebec had the best rivalry. Short-lived, but yeah, for sure. Boston, Montreal definitely has a great rivalry. Yes, Colin reminds us Ken Dryden has a law degree. Maybe why he's a stick in the mud, but I don't know. Nothing against lawyers. I'm basically one myself. There's a vote for the Montreal-Quebec rivalry. PSA 11, the Spinal Tap grade. Lapper says Nat talked about the grading scale in the last interview and essentially said it's not changing for now anyways. Joe Perot says Serena for me, Valentini, Lindsey Vonn, or Serena Williams are women GOATs. Serena and Simone says Jordan Riker. Jordan, welcome. Haven't seen you yet tonight. Ronda Rousey from MMA. Makes sense. Makes sense. We got another vote for Serena and Mia Hamm. Terry says Haley Wickenheiser, Christine S., and Serena are the GOATs in their sport.
Who's Kristen Sinclair? Kristen Sinclair. Women soccer for Canada.
Got it. Sharpshooter doesn't want Jeff to keep on doing his hello. Hey, you know what? Once you've got your catchphrase, you got to stick with it. You know, it's recognizable. So, you know, you stick with it when you got something like that. Jordan, Carvin, that's a great story about Cheryl and Reggie. Forgot about that. Oh, there's a vote for Martina Navratilova. Yeah, she was a GOAT back in the day for sure. I might have already said this, but I absolutely love this conversation. Jeremy, you keep outdoing yourself. Thanks, Card Collector. I'm reading these without pre-reading them, so I don't even know what's coming, but thank you very much. Monica Sellis had her time too. Remember when a fan stabbed her? Yes, I remember that for sure. Peter Chow, shedding some light on my bias against Ken Dryden. Your Dryden bias is hobby-related, won't sign, not based on his actual play, might have been a hair before your time. Yeah, I mean, if he stopped playing in 82 or so, and I started really watching hockey about it, yeah, it was a hair before my time for sure. There you go, Jeff. It's your favorite part. Is this the real? Yeah, this is the real Jeff Wilson. Okay, so hockey guy Serena might not be. I wonder if that's the real Jeff Wilson. I'm not convinced this is the real Jeff Wilson. I just don't know. Maybe it is. Serena Williams or Amanda Nunes for now. There it is. Okay, I guess it is. Okay. Keeping on going here. Jeremy, do we have any updates on the Metal Universe release? No real updates, Jordan. Just that I don't know when it's going to come out. I just know that all the companies are having delays with the printing vendors. So we're just going to have to be patient until it comes out, and I'm more than willing to be patient for it. But we will see. Paul Golden is running the Jeff Wilson account. Okay. Don't know who Paul Golden is, but okay.
Paul is Ken's son.
Oh, Paul Golden is Paul Golden. Oh, you're talking. Okay, he's talking about Ken Golden's son. Yeah, I didn't put that together. Okay, we're at the end of the comments actually for the first time. I didn't think we were going to get there that quick. So, but that's great. We are on time. We are in line with the comments. We are current with the comments. So, Carv, anything else you on your mind?
So, just to all the viewers, guys. I mean, you know, when we go on, whether I'm on Clubhouse, whether Jeremy's on Clubhouse, or we're live here, we don't really want to talk about what cards are going to go up or recommending cards. There's other qualified people that can do that for you. For us, it's more of education and sharing like stories and experiences, share how we view things, you know, provide any type of background information to allow you guys to make the proper decisions. You know, for us to really give advice on investing, a couple things I always tell people: what is your end goal? Always know what your end goal is. Is it really just speculating, investing, or is it you want to be a collector? So, you know, if you're a different part of that equation, there's going to be different answers for everyone to provide for you. But you got to also be clear that that's what you want to do, right? And if you're an investor, all that, I would recommend having an exit number. Always remember, it's easy to sell cards when people want your cards. Once those cards start dipping and the peak is past and it comes down, people don't want to buy those cards at high comps. So, and always, it's all about relationship building. Like Jeremy and I know each other from trading cards, and we talk about cards, but realistically, like Jeremy probably buys, you know, maybe 10 cards a week or 15 cards a week, unless he has a big collection that comes by for him to review. And I'll buy, you know, some Tops Now stuff. I'll buy some small cards. But typically the relationship that we have, even though trading cards is a platform, it's a friendship now. It's a relationship based on, you know, we talk about our kids, we talk about outside the hobby, and we also provide advice for us to talk about the hobby. The vehicle, the platform is trading cards, but the relationship is stronger. It's more about the community now. And I think that's what you should recognize, that if you're a collector or if you're an investor, be part of the community, and definitely, you know, seek, you know, do research, seek advice, or ask for information. But if someone's giving you advice on what to buy, what not to buy, that's not the right information that we should be providing you. So that's just thing. It's just education that we want to provide with. Well
said, Carv. I didn't even think of kind of getting that deep into it, but I appreciate that, because you're right. Even speaking for me, you're right. I don't I'm a collector through and through. I do, I answered the question on Clubhouse the other night as to where do I see myself on the collector investor spectrum, collector here, investor here. And I said, I'm probably 75% collector, 25% investor, which is the most investor I would have ever considered myself. But when I buy a card, and I buy the card into the 4 digits, I've hit the 5 digits a couple times. I've never hit 6 digits. But when I buy a card in the 4-digit range, even the high 3s, that's money that I could otherwise spend on my family. And I've got 2 young kids. I got a lot of future to pay for still. So when I'm buying a card in the thousands of dollars, I do consider the investment potential of that card. If I think it's very rare where I'm going to buy a card for over $1,000 that I'm buying just because I want it for my collection, and I don't care if it goes down to 0. I will care if it goes down to 0. But that said, it helps me really hone in on where it helps me hone in on cards I really want to own, and it also forces me to be really critical of the cards I'm buying in terms of, do I think they have a chance to either maintain their value or increase in value. But yeah, there are lots of other content creators out there that will give you advice on who to buy, when to buy, what to buy, all that sort of thing. That's not my approach to the hobby. It's not my approach to content. It hasn't been, it probably never will be. But I'm happy to tell you what I'm buying, who I'm collecting, why I'm buying them, because those are questions that are easy to answer, because that's just me being my natural self within the hobby. And Karvin's right. The community is so important. I love the community in the hobby, all the friends I've made, all the people I've met over even since doing this show. But I mean, as Carvin said, we've been friends for 15 years now, maybe even a bit longer at this point. And it's, I remember seeing Carvin at card shows, it's like we literally, what's up, bro, and bro hugs. Like, that's been going on for at least a decade. And I'm excited to be able to do that with a lot more people down the road, meeting all these people in person. The community is super important. And at the end of the day, I said this on Instagram just yesterday. I said, if the hobby has you down for whatever reason, if the hobby has you down on the hobby or on anything really, if the hobby has you down, go back to the cards. You can always go to your friends, sure, but go back to the cards you have. Remember the feeling you had when you chased them. Remember the feeling you had when they landed, when you actually had them in hand, because that's really they are at the foundation of the hobby. Community is up there too now, but the cards are the foundation of the hobby, right? Without the cards, we wouldn't have met each other. So, and as I said at the end of the post, you can always count on your cards, but you can also hopefully always count on your friends as well. So kind of mixing things up there, commingling a few concepts. But yeah, there's only one person here really asking for investment advice tonight. Again, right. not my angle. But people, I get a lot of questions on Instagram. What do you think this card's worth? It's like, I don't know. Like, if there's no comps, I don't know what someone's going to pay for it. What do I pay? I don't like the card. I'm not going to pay for it. So someone says, do you think a couple grand? Probably, maybe, but don't stick me to it because I have no idea. So. Okay, a couple more comments here. We'll wrap this up pretty quick here. Card Collector says the Blackhawks versus Blues rivalry from early 90s was what made me hate the Hawks. Love seeing the video of Belfour breaking a stick over the goal. What do we got next here? Valentini says, I watch Jeff Wilson a lot these days. Love your content. Please don't buy any more Alonzo Ball cards. Chrissy Buckets, I thought I was on Clubhouse tag now, but yeah, this is getting similar to some Clubhouse chats. Yes, Sharpshooter with the ever popular question, what inning are we in now, guys? Well, listen, you want to know what inning we're in now, guys? Go watch the crossover on Instagram last night. Chris and Josh had on Josh Luber, the founder of StockX, and he answered that question, the best answer I've ever heard for that question. And he answered it, and he basically answered it as if there were 3 games going on at a time. He said, in terms of prices, we're in inning X. In terms of people, inning Y, and in terms of the infrastructure, we're in inning Z or Z, whatever it was. I don't remember the innings he said. I think there was a 7, a 2, and a 4 in there, and I don't remember. But it was like he actually broke it down in a very logical manner. So you want to hear that, go watch the interview that they did with Josh Luber last night on the crossover. It should be on their Instagram, in their archives there. Is Hulk Hogan the GOAT of wrestling cards? Yes. In my opinion, yes, he is. And the exact GOAT card is that one right there. Right there. That's his PMG purple. That's the GOAT card, in my opinion. That's also an employee exclusive. Toa says, I love the Clubhouse chat we had on the pre-production side of making cards. As a graphic designer, I felt Carvin's pain on setting up cards for printing and production. Kudos. Very nice, Toa. Always a great person on Clubhouse as well. Sharpshooter, it looks like we're headed towards the bottom of the 8th. Thoughts? Disagree. Simply, I disagree with that. I think you got to go listen to the interview. Listen to what Josh Luber's take is. It was the best take I've heard on this question so far. Peter Chow giving Carvin some props. Jeff Wilson says Lonzo is going up. That's why I don't know if this is the real Jeff, and it's really late where Jeff Wilson lives, so I don't know if this is Jeff Wilson. Chrissy Buckets, we are in whatever inning Sammy Sosa and Maguire are in. Yeah, big unit. I don't know. Joe Perot, macro, not micro. Yeah, I don't know what that was in relation to exactly, Joe, but I'm going to say I probably most certainly agree with you. Name from Indigenous rookie cards. Carvin is very wise and has the best stories. True that. No doubt. Thank you, Seti B. Great to have you tonight. We're behind in comments again, Carv, but at the end of this one, we'll get out. We'll be done here. Tom Newman, Jay-Z sold for $9,500 on Golden. Then we can go on Clubhouse, Carv. The night doesn't have to be over.
Yeah, I know. We can do Sports Kai Live after
party. I asked Chris earlier if he wanted to, if he had time, if we would host it in his Clubhouse in the cart what's his group there? Sports Cards Culture Club. He said if he's able to, so we'll see if he can do that. Rob at Burbank Sports Cards had kind words for Carvin. Hey, who doesn't have kind words for Carvin? For sure.
Thank you, Rob.
Name, how is Indigenous card collection going for the giveaway for kids? Yeah. Check out Name's Instagram account, Indigenous Rookie Cards. I believe it's still called Name. If that's not correct, please put it in the chat. I'll put it on the screen. And Name is organizing a really important base cards for kids campaign. So let's help him out there if we can, please. Sharpshooter. I like the story of when you guys met at the Expo. I think Karvin said he pulled a Crosby RPA. You're thinking about Stephen Ho, who was on my show back in August or September, who pulled one at the show, actually. There's an episode I had.
I opened that box for him.
Oh, you opened the box for him?
Yeah, so I saw the Crosby, and we all started jumping up and down.
I was there, man. I remember that. I was standing in the crowd. That was awesome, for sure. Did Belfour get off his DUI with $1 billion ban? I remember that, too, for sure. Here we go. Chris is letting us know what Josh Luber said. Prices, Josh Luber said we're in the 7th inning. People in the 4th inning. Infrastructure in the 2nd inning.
I think that's bang on. That's bang on.
That's pretty.
Yeah.
I was like, like what a great way to say that. That was the content highlight of the week for me. Let's see. Daniel Busby, is there an app for Clubhouse? There is, Daniel. You do need an invitation for it.
iOS devices, guys. So if you have an iPad, you can download the app. If you have an iPhone, you can download the app. If you're on Android, everything, then you're out of luck for now. But you can hit us up. I can give you an invite. Anybody here that wants an invite. I have 10 invites right available. Or I can sell them on eBay. They go for a lot of money on eBay, but that's okay.
Do they really?
Yeah. Well, they were. Anyways, they were going for like $1,000 before.
Holy! What a way to get into. What a way to get on the. Okay, crazy. The maybe or maybe not real Jeff Wilson says it's not that late out here in Atlanta. 1:38 a.m. Rob is the card father. The Rob from Burbank is the card father. He puts out his like 10-minute sermons every morning on Instagram, which I've listened to a few. Are very what just seems like such a great dude for sure. Daniel, great having you tonight, my man. Thank you for joining. Card Collector 1982. You guys, if you want a if you want to get an invitation, I have some right now. You can send me a private message on Facebook or Instagram. Include your iPhone number, and I will send you. I'll send you an invitation after the show tonight, and then you can come join us on there. I got Name's Instagram handle at Indigenous Rookie Cards, so go give him a follow and find out how to help him out with his initiative, which is really awesome. I agree, card collector. I don't think that's a real Jeff Wilson either. Currency Project, setting the hobby up in terms of innings suggests there's an inevitable end. See, that's a great comment there. I disagree. I agree with that comment. I think that you have to consider that there isn't an end in sight, which I completely agree with. This thing is going to go for 100 more years. As long as there are sports, there will be sports cards. So I agree with you on that, Currency Project. But it's just a way to add context to where we're at in the cycle of things. Which cycle? Yeah. When does the cycle end? Don't know. Toa is going to be auctioning off his 5 Clubhouse invites on Golden. Hockey Guy says target locations are going to stop carrying cards at some point. Yes, I've heard about that too.
Yeah.
What's with all the trolls tonight, says Charles.
There's no troll.
Clubhouse invite, would love to listen in. Lapper, like I said, send me a direct message on Facebook or Instagram, and just send me your phone number and I will send you that for sure. Jeff Wilson, I don't believe it's me either. I don't think it's you. I don't think it's the real Jeff Wilson. Card Collector says, I'll be sending you my number for an invite to Clubhouse now. Thanks, Jeremy. You're welcome, man.
It must be card porn. We don't see him commenting anymore, so card porn is now Jeff Wilson.
Hey, that could be card porn for sure. That could definitely be card porn.
All right, guys, I want to show you this card. This card hasn't been in existence for a while, so let's see if it works.
Video in print. It says loading. Oh, there it is. Here comes the video. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. This was a big card when it came out because he was the best rookie of the rookie. He was the best rookie of the class that year.
Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, number 93 of the Edmonton Oilers. I play center. What I enjoy the most about this position is that you have the most ability to roam the ice, and you're very defensive minded, but you're also very offensive minded. I look up to Sidney Crosby. He's such a great hockey player, obviously, but he's such a good role model off the ice for all kids.
Something very small, simple. Amazing thing is that I haven't even watched this for like 7 or 8 years. I never charged it, and it still had electricity. So
I've owned a couple of those in the last few years, and they just haven't worked. So,
well, mine does. I guess it's called Providence.
Yeah, yes, you do. Yes, you do.
So I didn't develop it. I mean, there was an idea that I think when I went into Panini, they had the HRX cards, and I think Tracy brought it up on Clubhouse the other night when he was being interviewed by Jonas. And this is a card that I did create. It was called 6-on-6. So just want to show you some stuff. All right, it's a booklet card, but I like these booklet cards a little bit more than the ones that are 18 cards and all that stuff. So it has a little bit more meaning. So there's rivalries you're talking about, right? Is that rivalries? Chicago and Blues. That's a rivalry card.
Yeah. Those cards are tough though. Like, how do you it's like, not that we display our cards really anyway, but yeah. Cool. And
I can't do show and tell on Clubhouse, so.
No, that's true. Yeah, show some cards, man. I'll whip through some. I like this from the probably not real Jeff Wilson says, "Quiz me on me." Richard Zangrillo, a very regular and awesome dude on Clubhouse. The card Carvin has is the only NFT I ever want to see, no doubt.
Yeah, that's an NFT highlights though, not really NFT. It's still physical.
You're gonna have to put that on your PTR tonight. PTR on Clubhouse, it means what you have in your personal profile picture. It's called the PTR on there.
That's an OG slab.
It's an OG thick card.
How big it is. I can't fit this in the shoebox.
No, I would crack it, man.
No, I'm not gonna crack it. It's a PSA 10. It's actually I got to recently.
Yeah.
No, I can't recently look at it. It's bending out, so
That's what they use. That's the slab they use for unopened packs. Yeah,
so I'm gonna have to get this, and it's numbered. The numbering is actually just indented in. It's like no foil numbering. It's odd. This whole set's kind of odd. But this is actually one of the cards I wanted to look like for Exquisite. Was that type of look, the whole etched foil like black diamond.
Yeah,
etched
cool.
foil. So.
Card Collector says, thanks, Carvin. Really appreciate you dropping the knowledge on everybody. That's for sure. Colin Murray, thanks for reminding me. I threw the banner back up. I forgot to put it back up after we showed some cards. Valentini says, so talented, Carvin. Love those cards. Richard, anyone hawking NFTs on here should be publicly shamed in the town square. Yeah. And NFT. Oh, that's the old business card with MJ. That's wicked.
Yeah.
That's a collectible card. I used to have one of those. I can't find it anymore.
So, Chris, do you have this? Do you have any of these business cards at all, Chris? Since he's a Jordan collector.
Chris McGill, if he's still listening, do you have Carvin's Jordan Upper Deck Jordan?
Not my card, but any other Jordan business cards.
I have
I'm sure that's
one.
collectible.
I keep one Upper Deck business card in here. Oh, here it is. It's some that I just got.
This is the Chris Carlin Tiger Woods card.
I have that card too. I have the Tiger Woods. I can say that.
But if you have a Tiger Woods, if you're gonna have a Tiger Woods business card, you want it to be a Chris Carlin, a Grant Sandground, or a Billy Celio.
at this point in time.
Unless you had one too, then I'd want yours as well.
I have mine. I have mine with the original Upper Deck logo, right? So.
Oh, wicked, wicked. All right, here we go. Sharpshooter says, Carvin, last question. Top 3 QBs going in this week's draft. Can you name them pretty quick, Carv?
Sure. Trevor Lawrence going to go number 1. Number 2 is likely going to be Zach Wilson. And like number 3, I still think it's going to be Justin Fields, even though, you know, I'm not completely sold on Justin Fields. Just basically he can run a 4-4. But here's an OG card. Kevin Garnett with the old logo and the old type. Yeah.
That's nice. That's nice.
So I think Justin Fields will still go number 3 to the 49ers. I actually, out of all the quarterbacks, I mean, obviously Trevor Lawrence, you just can't give up on that talent. I actually think that what's his name now? The coach went to Jacksonville for the opportunity to coach Trevor Lawrence and win the possibility of winning a Super Bowl with him. But I think Trey Lance is going to be the dark horse. I think he may have a lot of upside because he plays in a very pro style offense, pro league offense, NFL pro offense on North Dakota State. So that team, that's where Carson Wentz came from. So I think he has a lot of upside.
Okay, Hockey Guy says you can do show and tell in Clubhouse, but it won't work very well. Yeah, you can, but you can only show one picture at a time. It's not very convenient. Willie, that video card was out of Upper Deck's The Cup. That they did them for 1 or 2 years only. Chris does want that Jordan card, Carv. He says he'll buy it. I'm sure.
I don't have to buy it. That's okay.
I'm sure you got. I want one too, buddy. I certainly want one I want one too. Hang on to one for me, please.
Yes.
Tola says there needs to be a card museum. Some of these cards, yeah, I agree. They need to be admired more for sure. They are pretty awesome. Live auction right now for a Carvin Cheung Upper Deck MJ rookie business card. Awesome. Chris is such a good guy. Good. Thank you, Colin. Good. Have a great night, buddy. Sharpshooter says Jordan is a walking ATM machine. Can you imagine being one of his friends? Joe Perot, I know it's late, but since I'm not able to get into the clubhouse, does Carvin have thoughts on Tiger Woods moving forward? A couple words on Tiger Woods moving forward, Carv?
I think Tiger Woods is still. I mean, he's obviously a GOAT for modern day golf, right? I mean, yeah. And it's unfortunate what's happened with his career: car accidents, golf clubs, just all kinds of stories about him. But let's put it this way: it's because of certain things have happened in social media today is that people are under the microscope. These things happen to many GOAT players, GOAT golfers. Even then, I mean, I think that there's still some opportunities with Tiger. He has a lot of autograph cards out there, but there's still a lot of them that are at pretty decent value. I wouldn't give any advice on, let's say, Tiger Woods, the number 1 card. I think that card there's a lot of those cards around, the number 1 card that was produced, but anything else outside of that, there's a lot of opportunities in Tiger. So, and they've been going up quite a bit. So Jeremy's showing off his gems now, his precious metal gems.
Just got these today, and then I'm just peeking through the cards at the camera.
I like the purple color. It's not a nostalgia color, but my favorite color is purple. If it was a Flair masterpiece, then I would like that purple a lot more. That's where I remember the purple color, the Flair masterpiece.
Well, either is the blue. The blue wasn't an original one either. It's just the red and the greens were original.
Right. Yeah, red and the greens. But I don't like the blue. I don't like the purple for that reason. But I do like the purple, like I said, on Flair, and I love the designation on the back. It says one of only one, not just one of one. It says one of only one.
Well, I know those are cool. Those are very cool. Matt Burr says, "Is the Allen and Ginter your business card?" It is not, Matt Burr. That's just a simple pack pulled. They were pack pulled, were they not?
The one that you got was I had extras at that time, so I gave them to people like yourself. I didn't give them to a lot of other people, so I still have a few left over that I'm utilizing for, just giving it to certain people's for, like Chris has one, you have one. I think Adam Lefko got one. That's the only people that I gave in the last year or so. So yeah, I gotta save it just in case for my daughter. She doesn't even have one yet. So, and I never know. I have to worry about her. I don't have many left though. They didn't give me that many to give away. So
yeah,
in a matter of 6 years, 7 years. Yeah,
I definitely got one of the first ones. I wish you would have numbered them. That would have been cool. All right, let's keep. Valentini says, "May we have to give Carvin a nickname here. He's totally awesome. My nickname for you is King of Cards. You rock." He goes by the Architect, right? He's the Architect. He
well, you look on the back of the Allen Ginter. I know that Card Father is Rob's name, but I had a Beckett alias as Card Father back in the 90s. So that was my first name, was the Card Father, and then later on I went with Architect. I like Architect more because it plays more to being creative and creating cards, the architect of cards. And also there's a movie called The Matrix where the architect was in control of the whole entire world. Yeah. So it's almost like I had my pulse on the whole entire collecting community. So, but that's being really, that's not the terminology I like to use. I have a pulse on the whole entire collecting community. So,
all right, we're gonna run through the rest of these comments, and then we're gonna we'll probably move ourselves to Clubhouse. Maybe this one makes me think it is Jeff Wilson. Going to bed now, getting late. Great hearing from you, Carvin and Jeremy. Like that comma at the end with the names, the proper sentence structure makes me think it might be him. Colin Murray says no chance Tiger wins another major or wins again. Period.
I won't. I don't think so.
Yeah. Currency Project. Thank you very much. Thumbs up. Have a great night to you as well. It's Abdul and I can't remember the two guys at Currency Project right now, but great to see you guys again. Peter says, Jeremy, the numbering on those PMGs make me very happy. Both PSA 7, both numbered 4 in their print run. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think that's really cool too. Toa says goodbye. Rock Latex, remember sticking some UD power decks in my computers in the late 90s. Lucky K, do other big countries have another grading company that's similar to PSA that they use? I think the answer to that is no. Okay, Carv. We're gonna wrap it up, buddy. This was fun. Thanks for joining me on After Hours on April the 24th, 2021. Talk to you every day, I'm sure, for the next several on Clubhouse. Yeah. If anybody did send me a message on Facebook or Instagram, I will get to them and I will send you an invitation to Clubhouse here in the next few minutes, probably, and then I'll be on there myself.
DM me too. DM me on my Instagram and I'll send it to you. But make sure you have an iOS device. So
yeah, you need Apple device. You need basically an iPhone or an iPad. I recommend just using your phone. But if you don't have one, tough luck. If you have an iPad, it will work though. Apparently, I don't know how to. You need a phone number attached to it, I believe.
I think you can add your phone number into the iPad, but you have to download the app. So you just use the app. So.
Got it. Thank you, Charles. We'll see you on Clubhouse. Lucky Kate, good night to you. Thank you for joining. Valentini, great to have you. Mr. Kitchens. All right, guys, throw your final comments in there right now, even if they're just good nights. Love to see it. And thanks, everybody, for joining. If you haven't subscribed yet to the Sports Cards Live YouTube channel, please do subscribe, hit the thumbs up, all those things. We'll see you on Clubhouse. We'll see you back here next Saturday, actually back tomorrow night for the PWCC auction ending watch party. You're going to have fun with that. We'll go from about 9 p.m. Eastern till 11:30. And that'll be it. That'll be it for the week. Then I'll be back next Saturday with back-to-back episodes again. So Carv, hang tight for 2 seconds. Everybody else, Good night. Thank you, Miski. Thank you, Mickey Pasquarillo. Great to have you. Thank you, Toa. Great to see you as always. Good night, Tim Brown. Name, great to see you. I'm going to hit Sharpshooter. Great to see you too. Everybody else, see you later.